You know, sometimes I really wonder if fame is a blessing or a curse, and lately I can't stop thinking about Lola Young. If you've been following her, you probably know exactly what I mean. And if you haven't, then let me just walk you through why so many of us are genuinely worried about her. I've always believed that when someone rises to success too fast, especially in the entertainment industry, there's this invisible clock that starts ticking, counting down to the moment when everything becomes too heavy to carry. And with Lola, it feels like that clock is already ticking a little too loudly. What makes this even scarier is the fact that she doesn't really seem to have a solid support system at home, and the people guiding her career right now don't exactly inspire confidence, especially considering the history of her manager. He's Nick Shymansky, the same man who once managed Amy Winehouse, and if you know how that ended, then you understand why alarm bells are going off for so many people. Amy was an incredible artist who never got the protection she needed, and the world watched her fall apart in public. Now here we are years later, seeing Lola cancel one show after another, showing up completely drained, even collapsing on stage, and people want to believe it's just part of the game. To me, that's not normal. To me, that's a young woman who's already carrying more than she can bear. The recent performance in New York was the moment that really shook people up. Lola was on stage doing her usual thing, singing, connecting with the crowd. She's not a flashy performer in the sense that she's dancing around or exhausting herself physically. She focuses on her voice and her presence, so it wasn't like she was doing some heavy choreography that would explain what happened next. In the middle of her set, you could see her face change. Something shifted. She looked uncomfortable, like her body was giving her warnings. She tried to signal to her team that something wasn't right, and before anyone could step in, she collapsed. Now, I've seen people online saying she faked it, and honestly, that blows my mind. It's crazy how quick some people are to accuse artists of pretending or looking for attention. If you've seen the video, you know she didn't fake it. The way her body gave out, the way she tried to hold on before going down, that wasn't acting. That was someone whose body just said no. When she was helped off stage, she was still conscious, but she looked distant, like she wasn't fully there. That's not something you stage. That's exhaustion, maybe even something deeper. I think what makes this moment even heavier is the fact that Lola has never hidden her struggles. She's been open about her mental health, she's been honest with her fans, and that honesty makes moments like this even harder to watch. We know she's not the type to lie about what she's going through. We know she's vulnerable and sometimes fragile, and seeing her collapse doesn't look like a publicity stunt. It looks like a cry for help. And when I say cry for help, I don't mean she's weak, I mean she's human. And it's wild to me that we still live in a culture where an artist can literally faint on stage, and the first reaction from some people is to mock her or accuse her of faking it. Her manager tried to reassure fans afterward by posting on her social media, saying that she had to cancel another concert due to a sensitive matter, and that his team was taking protective measures to keep her safe. On the surface, that sounds nice. It sounds like he cares. But then you remember, this is the same manager who was with Amy Winehouse when her life unraveled, the same guy who pushed her toward rehab and saw her denied help. That history doesn't just disappear. It follows him into his work with Lola, and fans can't ignore that connection. We don't want another Amy Winehouse story, and honestly, with the way things are going, it's hard not to worry that history is repeating itself. Not long before this incident, Lola gave an interview where she revealed that she had been diagnosed with schizoaffective disorder when she was just 17 years old. For anyone who doesn't know, that's a condition that combines symptoms of schizophrenia, things like hallucinations or paranoia, with mood disorders like depression or bipolar. Imagine being a teenager and carrying that diagnosis. Imagine trying to grow into adulthood while dealing with those battles in your head. Now add fame, add pressure, add the weight of the music industry, and you have a recipe for collapse. During the interview, she said she's the happiest she's ever been, but when I watched her, I didn't see pure happiness. I saw someone still wrestling with their past, someone who hasn't fully healed from childhood trauma, someone who uses music to escape, but now has to face the reality that the same thing that brought her freedom is also the thing putting her under the most stress. That's such a dangerous contradiction to live with. And then, after she collapsed, she actually came back on stage and addressed the crowd. She told them she'd had a tricky couple of days. She admitted that sometimes life makes her feel like she can't continue, but she pushed herself to come out because she didn't want to give in to sadness. She even said she didn't want to water her sadness. That line alone hit me so hard. It's not something you say lightly. It's something you say when you've been battling thoughts that scare you, when you're fighting yourself every single day just to get up and move. And here she was saying it into a microphone, in front of thousands of people, trying to explain that she's still here but barely holding on. That's the part people need to pay attention to. Not the collapse, not the drama, but the words she said. Because when an artist tells you they feel like life makes them want to stop, you don't laugh it off, you don't accuse them of faking, you listen, you take it seriously. Because too many times, we've heard artists give us warnings in plain sight, and we didn't take them seriously until it was too late. I know people like to say, well, that's the price of fame, and maybe there's some truth to that. But I don't think anyone should have to sacrifice their health and their sanity for music or for fans. Lola has already pushed her body past its limits. At Coachella earlier this year, she literally threw up during her performance because of the heat and nerves. She was clearly overwhelmed, but she tried to keep going. That's another warning sign. When your body starts rejecting what you're doing, that's your body begging you to stop. Fans notice she might be sensitive to heat, which makes sense considering she grew up in the UK and isn't used to performing in desert climates like Palm Springs. But again, it's not just the weather, it's the pressure, it's the lack of rest. It's the constant demand to keep going even when you're not okay. And it's not just physical, it's emotional too. Lola has been asking people online to stop being mean to her. After she had to cancel another show, she posted on Instagram saying she loves her job. She never takes her audience for granted, but she needs people to give her a day off from the negativity. Think about that. She wasn't just apologizing for missing a show, she was literally begging people to stop being cruel to her while she's struggling. That alone tells you how much pressure she's under. Because it's not just the music, it's the internet, it's the comments. It's people who hide behind keyboards and accuse her of faking or being weak. And when you're already battling mental health issues, those comments don't just slide off your back. They cut deep. What breaks my heart is that Lola isn't even that far into her career yet. She's still at the start of what could be something amazing. And yet, in such a short time, she's already had these massive, scary moments, vomiting on stage, collapsing, cancelling shows, breaking down in interviews. It's too much too soon. And if we've learned anything from artists like Amy Winehouse, Britney Spears, Demi Lovato, or even Selena Gomez, it's that the industry doesn't care about slowing down for the sake of mental health. It pushes and it pushes until people either break or completely disappear from the spotlight. I think about how Amy's manager, the same one Lola has now, admitted he would get late-night calls from Amy when she was spiraling. She'd say she was drunk in some pub, talking nonsense, asking him to come get her. He would drive around Camden looking for her, trying to help, but he couldn't save her. He said he felt protective of her, and maybe he did, but at the end of the day, Amy still ended up gone far too soon. That's the story that haunts this whole situation. Because I don't want Lola's name to be added to that tragic list of artists who weren't protected enough, who were overworked, and who couldn't survive the machine that's supposed to support them. I think the saddest part is that Lola's fans genuinely care. You can see it in the comments. People are begging her to take time off, to rest, to get the help she needs. But at the same time, you can also see the cruelty. You can see the people making jokes, saying she doesn't have what it takes, saying she's faking it. And that combination of love and hate is exactly what makes the internet such a dangerous place for someone who's already vulnerable. She reads those comments, she feels them, and no matter how strong you are, that constant stream of negativity chips away at you. So here's where I stand. Lola Young is unbelievably talented, and she deserves a long career filled with joy and success. But none of that matters if she doesn't take care of herself first. The industry isn't going to save her. The internet isn't going to save her. The only people who can protect her are herself and the team around her. And right now, I'm not convinced that her team is doing enough. The warning signs are too clear. She's telling us she's struggling, her body is showing us she's struggling, and if people don't take this seriously, we're going to end up looking back on these moments with regret. I really hope Lola steps back and takes time away from all of this, even if it means disappointing fans for a while. Because true fans won't be disappointed. True fans will still be here when she's ready, still cheering her on, still wanting to hear her music when she's healthy enough to give it. What matters is that she stays here, that she survives this, that she doesn't become another cautionary tale. And I know it's easier said than done, but the truth is, no song, no show, no career is worth losing yourself for. So if I had one thing to say to Lola directly, it would be this: take a break. Please. The music will wait, the fans will wait, but your health can't wait anymore. And for everyone else, let's stop being cruel online. Let's stop mocking someone who's clearly fighting battles most of us can't even imagine. Let's show compassion, because at the end of the day, Lola Young isn't just a name on a stage. She's a human being, and right now, she needs care more than she needs applause.